everyone, welcome to my channel. Greetings to everyone who is watching. It's been a while, but I'm back. Or maybe I never really left though, but I didn't have a lot of inspiration to make any videos lately. But today I want to talk about the current situation, us being in a pandemic, and maybe some thoughts I'd like to share with you guys, and maybe also for those who feel a little bit discouraged in life, feeling a little bit overwhelmed in life, or maybe people who are feeling maybe kind of lonely during this situation we are all going through. So maybe it's going to be a little bit JW themed, but it's not the main goal of this video. As you can see, the hair looks a little bit weird, don't even ask. I guess it's the 3 times in a row bleaching job that did this. So yeah, don't bleach your hair 3 times in a row, just don't. So that's my first word of advice for you today. Anyway, it's 2020, for a couple more days, not even weeks really. It's the 21st of December at the moment of recording. Oh, hello, and here is my lovely cat. Normally she doesn't like being in front of the camera, but I don't know, when I'm recording she's always there. She just wants to cuddle and stuff. So there's not much left of this year, but overall we can say it's been a pretty crappy year, isn't it? Right? Because I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but here in Europe the pandemic has set foot on land really at the beginning of this year. And in the Netherlands, where I live, it could have been felt really from March this year, I guess, because then the restrictions were put into place. We do not have a curfew or something, but we have to work at home. If possible, also children are being well, not really homeschooled, but they get online classes. A lot of non-necessary shops, stores, and how you call it? Well, locations are closed. So clothing stores, restaurants, those are closed. Yeah, let me tell you something about my own experience with this year. So maybe you can get some encouragement from that. Because normally I'm actually a very pessimistic person. Or pessimistic, I would rather call it realistic. I'm like, everything sucks. And if some things don't suck as it should, then it's actually more like of a bonus for me. So if you don't expect anything from life and think everything's going to hell, and nice things happen, then, well, it's more like the only way is up, right? I mean, I'm not saying I'm depressed here or having a bad life overall, but life is just life, you know. It's not like unicorns and rainbows, and I've been struggling with a lot of stuff in my life, and that's what made me kind of bitter, I guess. But 2020, yeah, it started like as usual. I had a little bit of struggle when it comes to work, because my boss wasn't able to give me certain amount of hours, and of course rent has to be paid and stuff, so I was kind of stressed out, and I started looking for another job again. Luckily I found one. In June I started working at our local library, and I'm having a blast, really. And it can be stressful at times, but that is only when I have to do stuff with my brains. My job is more like split into different activities, really. Because half of the time I'm working in the library as a librarian. It helps me to get rid of that energy that's always actually going on in my head. It's kind of a strange description. And the other part of my work involves staying in contact with primary schools when it comes to their collections of books, and also helping schools out with cultural education. They have to pick some activities from this program, and it's my job to help them with these choices, and also to help them, I don't know how it's called in English. I don't even know if other schools besides the Netherlands have these types of teachers, but here in the Netherlands we have like these culture coordinators at school, and they are responsible for implementing cultural stuff and art into the school curriculum, really, and it's my job to help them with that. It costs me a lot of headspace, really, a lot of brain power. Maybe I started off a little bit enthusiastically, and I was like, I want to learn everything and do everything, and that worked out kind of bad, so I took it down a notch, and now stuff is actually going pretty well. I've been working for half a year at the library, and I'm just still trying to find my place in the library with the colleagues and stuff. But I've also come to the conclusion that I need some help with this chaos inside my head. So I went to my GP, and I already talked to a psychologist. I'm being tested for ADHD or ADD maybe, because the truth is I've been bluffing my whole life when it comes to getting things done. I was never able to concentrate really well. I always was kind of daydreaming, and my mind was always wandering. I couldn't focus on doing tasks. When I had to study for a test, for example, I was only able to study for maybe 15 minutes, half an hour, and my mind would wander again. I was never able to focus on stuff. And maybe you've noticed, but you guys noticed, but I'm really, I'm just fidgeting all the time. I just cannot sit still. It's not how I am, and that's how I've always been, really. When there was a situation when I had to process some information, I had a really hard time doing that. But I always kind of got the job done. But now it's becoming a problem because I have to do like grown-up stuff, and I feel like, I don't know, and it's not that I'm like blocked in my abilities to do things, but it's very hard to manage, really. So I'm looking for some help with that. All my life I've actually been like, if you're an adult, you have to be able to manage your own life, and you should have figured this shit out, you know. So always was very critical when it comes to psychologists. A lot of people have issues, I guess, and I do not really like to confess that I have issues as well, because at the age of 30 you're supposed to take care of yourself and not be a whiny little child who cannot manage stuff on its own. So but I really like to keep this job, and I really want to be the best I can, as far as I can in my job. So even if you're in your 30s, 40s, it doesn't matter. If you think you can use some help with managing your life, then just go for it. Well, if it doesn't help you, at least try it, I guess. So that's what I'm doing here. So that's kind of a positive thing. Also finding a job, because where I live, finding a job is kind of hard. It took me 6 years, almost 6 years, to find this job. I guess I applied to a lot of jobs. It might have been 150 in the meantime, because all of the rejection, I got very discouraged. But I guess it's kind of strange to say it was worth it, because it wasn't worth it to go through all the rejection and kind of pain in some way. But I'm really happy I found this job, and I really enjoy it. And sometimes it doesn't even feel like a job, because I mean, I'm having fun, you know, so it doesn't feel like an obligation or a bad thing. So that's a positive thing that happened for me in 2020. Finding a job, getting to work on my own emotional well-being, functioning. But also, I met someone, and it's kind of strange to say I met someone, because we didn't really meet in real life yet. I decided to put an ad on Reddit, and a lot of people reacted to the ad, and only 2 people came out of it as being very interesting people that I'm still in contact with right now. For those who are watching, you know who you are. At least one is watching, I'm sure. So, and one turned out to be I don't know, kind of a quick friend, you could say. We had a lot in common, and we send each other self-deprecating memes on a daily basis. And when this whole craziness is over, we're planning on meeting up and making cocktails, having fun, hanging out. And the other one turned out to be more than a friend, so to say. Just a couple of days ago, we were video calling, and we came to the conclusion that this is the first time we started talking on Discord, and that was the 25th of October. We talked every day, like no exception. And although maybe it was a couple of words, well, mostly it wasn't a couple of words. We just talked into the early hours, really. And the first time we did a video call, it lasted 9 hours. And that wasn't the first time it lasted that long. And people are like, what were you guys talking about then? And honestly, I can't even remember, but it was wholesome, it was great, and time flew by. So, but yeah, the thing that happened is we chit-chatted a little bit about this and that, and a little bit small talk. Sometimes not really small talk even. We talked about some personal stuff as well. And there was a point where stuff got a little bit more friendly. And the guy in question asked me out on accident. Don't even ask. At the moment, you could say we're both pretty hyped about the whole situation. We put a lot of effort into this whole thing. It's pretty great to have met someone who's kind of like-minded, really. Us both being like child-free communists, so to say. It's great. I mean, where do you find these people anyway, you know? Well, the answer is on Reddit. So yeah, if you're watching this, I'd like to say thank you so much for making 2020 even a better year for me. Although it's been kind of shitty because of Corona and we cannot meet, I'm sure 2021 will be better, and we will be able to meet maybe in half a year. Fingers crossed there. I turned 30 this year, so I should give it a shot, you know? I mean, I've been prepared to be single for the rest of my life, I guess, or just be living with a couple of cats. And I guess it's fine as well, you know? I mean, it's not the end of the world to not have a relationship. If you meet someone who's really cool, then it's totally worth it. So the tip I want to give you guys, free advice here, don't get too desperate. Just if you're really interested in having a relationship or looking for new friends, just open yourself up to it. But the important thing is that you are happy with yourself first. Because if you're not happy with who you are, how can someone else be happy with you? And how are you able to make other people happy? There were moments in my life when I actually kind of, well, maybe not hated myself, but hated the way things were and how I reacted on that. And I didn't like the way I looked, and I felt ugly and fat and obnoxious even. And I couldn't even imagine how someone would want to put up with me. Also physically, the Corona year has been a good year for me because I lost like 9 kilos by just trying to cut out sugar out of my diet as much as possible. I don't buy candy anymore. Well, occasionally maybe. When I bake, like muffins or whatever, I try to replace the sugar with other things like fruits. So that helped a lot. Also, I'm trying to adopt a vegan diet, so I cut out the cheese and the eggs, and that did a lot for me as well. I've been struggling with irritable bowel syndrome for a long time, and cutting out the sugar and going vegan, it did a lot for me. That's advice that I would give everyone. Just cut out the sugar out of your diet, and you don't need to be this this food Nazi really, where you never eat candy or never have a piece of pie if someone offers it, you know. If you want to feel good inside your own skin in your life, choices need to be made, and not all of those choices are very easy to make, but it's solely worth it in the end. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself, and I can say I'm really happy. Well, happy. I'm actually kind of content in my skin, satisfied, and I don't feel ashamed anymore, really. So if that's the case, if you feel good, you can also radiate that, I guess, towards the people around you. But it isn't necessary to see people face to face, you know. I mean, you can be in Discord servers or something, or just play games online with people, or just write them cards, send them pictures. Just stay in touch, because I understand it's a very lonely time for a lot of people. And also for people who maybe don't have friends or don't have a lot of friends. I mean, it's a great time to go looking for friends online. And when the pandemic is actually over, you have something to look forward to. You can meet up in real life, and yeah, so it keeps you kind of positive and social. And that's really an important thing, because you hear of these stories of people who are very lonely and no one ever visits them. And I'm like, how is that even possible? I think it's very important to invest in friendships. I mean, there are a lot of friends with whom I've been friends for over 10 years, some even 15 years. So if you invest in those friendships, they'll be there during hard times, during regular times. So that is really important. But actually, I also want to say something when it comes to the Jehovah's Witness community, and maybe especially for the ex-Jehovah's Witness community. I'm not really sure, because for those who have been following the JW broadcasting episodes, and also, for example, John Cedars, or now Lloyd Evans's channel, and all the other activist channels, you can see that there's a lot of panic. The governing body has been capitalizing on people's fears about the current situation. They're just going on and on and on about how the end is near and that Armageddon will really, really come very, very soon. They're just using the situation to get people to get close to the organization. And for those who are maybe inside the organization watching this channel and other channels, or for those who are POMI, physically out and mentally in, I'd say, please don't be scared, don't be afraid, nothing is happening. I mean, of course there is something happening, but it's not the end of the world. Literally, it's not the end of the world. There will be no Armageddon, there will be no Great Tribulation. Because if this really, really was God's one and only organization, all the other stuff would have come true as well. And as we know, there has been a lot of false prophecies of Armageddon coming in 1975 and 1924 and all those dates, and it didn't come true. What it comes down to is that if someone tries to make a prophecy and it doesn't come out, then obviously it's not from some higher power and it's just bullshit, and you shouldn't trust those people, and you shouldn't be afraid. And in general, you shouldn't be afraid for people, because people are just people. I mean, I've been there at one point in my life when I felt like I had to, I couldn't do anything because some people might punish me like elders, you know, but also the elders in the congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, they are just people. You don't have to fear them. You don't have to explain them anything. You're not responsible to tell them anything about whatever. They don't have any power over you unless you let them have that power. And when you decide that they cannot have any power over you, you're just basically free. And for those who are baptized Jehovah's Witnesses and are trying to fade or just want to leave, I understand that's a hard thing to go through. But you just have to know you're not alone. Maybe in your town or even your country, you can feel alone and that there's no one who shares your background, but we are a worldwide community, and you can look for help on YouTube, on the XJW subreddit. There's so much support. You're never alone. So it's not a reason to stay with this organization that thrives on fear, on people's, I don't know, I guess ignorance or fear of the real truth. Because the Bible also says the truth will set you free. So let that sink in, right? If you don't feel free in a certain religious organization, it's not the truth, obviously. So, of course, people live their own truth, and Jehovah's Witnesses are, no, there's only one truth, and we have it. Yeah, but why do people feel so exhausted, and why do they feel obligated to do so much stuff? I mean, that's not real freedom, you know? And they make it look like people outside of the organization experience freedom as just being promiscuous sexually, for instance, or smoking, using excessive amounts of alcohol, doing drugs. No, that's not freedom either. I mean, the most important freedom is really being free of mind control and just being able to feel what you want to feel, to think what you want to think, to have an opinion on social issues, on political issues, being able to love who you want to love, being able to practice sports or hobbies you want to practice or engage in without anyone telling you it's bad or demonic or that Jehovah wouldn't like that. So please, to all of those who are still in the organization or have been out for a long time but still feel kind of restricted, don't believe the stuff that comes from the Jehovah's Witness organization. Do some research for yourself. In my opinion, they're just becoming desperate because people are leaving the organization. People are waking up, and they cannot lose all their followers, of course, because where will the money come from to pay the settlements in those child abuse cases, right? And of course, the organization is going to use the situation and people leaving as an excuse for, you know, guys, this is really, really the end because look at all the persecution happening. And meanwhile, they're forgetting that other religious minorities are also being persecuted. But that's not important, right? That's not something that's going on. So so even in a situation like this, we need to stay kind of positive and just hang in there, you know, because there are days that I myself am like, oh, I'm so done with this situation. I like not being able to go out to a restaurant or to do some fun in big groups. It kind of pisses me off, but I also understand why the restrictions are in place. And of course, a lot of conspiracy crazies are coming out of the woodwork now. And all those people are like, yeah, but I've done some research and the face masks don't work. And now suddenly everyone is a doctor. Everyone knows better. And it's giving a lot of it gives a lot of tension in daily life to interact with these types of people. Struggling myself a little bit. I try not to make a big issue out of it, but I wish they would just shut up, you know. I mean, there is no reason why government would want to control us, or why Bill Gates would want to implant us with microchips. I mean, why? Why, really? There's no need for that kind of stuff, you know. And I'm happy I'm not actually friends with any of those crazies. I've really, I don't know, my friends are pretty practical and rational when it comes to that, and everyone was like, yeah, we should just listen to those restrictions, and it's not fun, but we have to protect ourselves and our loved ones, so we should wear face masks and stuff, and not be in contact with too many people. So I'm really thankful to have people like that in my social circle. And we just have to hang in there, all of us. And maybe it's not as dramatic as it's being portrayed. I mean, old people die every day of flu, of whatever. And now it's just more obvious that people indeed die from like seemingly small stuff. And of course, it's in this situation, it's like extra hard to lose someone, because there is no real, how you call it, funeral that can be organized, or so I understand that people cannot really close a chapter or mourn properly. So that's the hardest part right now. So I do feel sorry for the people who've lost loved ones. But we all have to hang in there. I cannot say it enough, because if we don't, it's going to be worse. So we have to just stay put and just wait till the situation gets better. And it will get better. It's not like it will be worse until Armageddon comes, because no such thing will be happening. I'm sorry, Jehovah's Witnesses, no such thing will be happening. I want everyone actually to know that things will get better. And is there a way that I can know this? No, but I think if it's not possible for things to get worse, I mean, the only way is up, right? So it can only get better from here on, I guess. I don't want to sound too optimistic, of course, but with the vaccine already getting put to use next month, I'm actually pretty optimistic. Whoever is watching this, I don't know, doesn't matter if you're a Jehovah's Witness, non-Jehovah's Witness, ex-Jehovah's Witness, whatever. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. Take care of your social and emotional needs in a responsible way. Don't let yourself become isolated. Maybe pick up some new hobbies. Just stay busy, and don't put yourself into unnecessary harm's way. Stay safe, stay responsible, and we're gonna get through this, all of us. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. And I see you guys next time.